So this is a project that Grantek designed and built for Merck Corporation. We were contracted with Merck to build an alarm management system for their West Point, PA facility to help improve their compliance and workflow. In the early conversations with the customer, and we realized that we were going to have to incorporate a lot of features that push us outside of the standard scope of alarm management and alarming systems, such as advanced point management and advanced metadata management, reporting for alarm rationalization, and things of that nature. So we developed some very custom solutions that were pretty fun to build, honestly. So the alarm management system is connecting to 11,000 different points built on using the ignition perspective module. The architectures were using redundant gateways connected to a data aggregator, an OPUA data aggregator. We also have a secondary independent ignition gateway for recording from web clients. And then additionally, there's a developmental and engineering workstation for development work for further projects and testing of that nature. The system was built using a Postgres cluster. So we have two different Linux boxes, each providing replication via PG pool between the two databases. So some of the features that we built in, obviously we had alarm status monitoring and historization. We do use the native alarm journal within Ignition as the engine to historize our alarms. And then the front end is all custom built tables using scripting and queries and putting all of that together to show it on the front end. The management interface allows users to specify any number of pieces of metadata associated with a point, from persons responsible to the point to area, location, comments. Anything that you want to attach to the point is built into the system and then stored as metadata within the database. We also built some ad hoc and scheduled reporting tools. So all of the reports are highly filterable to help with the rationalization of the alarms. The report scheduler allows for users to schedule themselves or others to receive the report on a defined frequency, and they can specify any number of parameters associated with the report. And following the completion of that scheduling function, they'll start receiving the reports on the frequency they define. Some of the other pieces, so we built some interfaces that allow users to request changes to points and add these requests and track the progress of the request as it goes through the life cycle. Ultimately, the system administrators will be responsible for closing the request and completing the request and making all of the necessary changes to the point. So again, some of the features, real-time alarm management workflow. So we added some custom features to the workflow that allow users to kind of do a two-point acknowledgement on each alarm as they assign the alarms to different technical groups for resolution. And then you can add ad hoc annotation to the alarm event, which will be associated with that alarm event for future reporting. So as the alarm is going through its life cycle, users can track in real time what's happening with the alarm event. We did have to build some custom data archiving features into this. We built some Python scripts that run through the alarm events and alarm events data tables and pull out anything older than 2 years and move those over to archived tables within the database for future reporting. And then we covered the report scheduling builder in the previous slide. So this is the report scheduling builder. You can see that on the left-hand side, you have the 10 different reports that we built for the project. So the workflow is that you select a report on the left-hand pane. On the right-hand pane of the view behind the overlay are the different schedules associated with that report. You can add, delete, edit, or duplicate reports with the buttons on the right-hand side. Once the report schedule pop-up builder is opened, either by selecting modify schedule or add schedule, this would be the pop-up that you receive. Here you can add any number of filters to the report. You can specify the recipient in the recipient section, and then you can specify the report time frame, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, or so forth. And report type is you're selecting the format, so PDF, CSV, or HTML. This is the point management view that we developed for the system. So the idea of this view is that as you select on points within the points table, the left-hand pane, the alarm info pane, will be populated with metadata associated with those points. So all of the information, any comments, alarm owners, and so forth would be shown in the alarm info pane. On the right-hand pane, you can add points, inactivate points, or modify points. The modify point workflow is an elaborate carousel of embedded views that allow the users to specify all of the metadata associated with this point. One neat feature that we developed was the import and export feature associated with this view. So some of the tag data that goes into the alarm event is stored within the alarm UDT and part of the ignition tag provider. Other pieces of the alarm metadata are stored in the database. So this import and export feature, you can select any number of alarms, export them to a CSV, make modifications to the points, or add additional points. And then you can re-import that same CSV file back into the application. We'll go through a series of validation checks to make sure that the information in the respective columns is appropriately formatted. And then we'll either insert or update that data into the database or the tag provider, depending on where that data lives. This is the alarm management screen. So this is the alarm summary view. Again, you have the alarm active table in the center of the view, and you can click on individual rows within the alarm table. That will populate the alarm info pane on the left-hand side. In the alarm info pane, all of the annotation associated with the alarm event is going to come up in real time in that pane. So if you have multiple users annotating the same alarm at the same time, each user will be able to see the annotation from the other as that alarm goes through its life cycle. By double-clicking rows within the active alarm table, you get the alarm management overlay, which allows users to go through the two-part acknowledgement piece of assigning and answering. And additionally, you can also add response annotation ad hoc. The accept annotation is a feature for shift changes that as a shift change happens, users will go through and either accept the annotation or add new annotation to all the points that they're kind of walking into the alarms. You can also view the alarm history and trend the alarms from this view. So some of the results of this system was really regulatory compliance and having a record of the steps that were taken on the alarm event to help with the regulatory compliance of these systems. So for instance, you will be able to pull a report showing the annotation of an alarm and be able to tell the story of that alarm a little bit more clearly. We also put a lot of effort into designing user-friendly interfaces that are intuitive and simple to learn. And the biggest thing was convenient access to the system, or convenient access to the data, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing that with us, Dylan. So I have a couple questions for you. How were you able to deliver so much functionality beyond a normal SCADA alarming system?
So that's one of the aspects of the ignition module that's really is extensible by nature and allows you to build out. I mean that your imagination is the only limit. So you can build scripting and queries to pull data and join data together in a way that we've never really had available to us prior.
Great. And I assume adding functionality like this can result in a fairly complex solution. Is this a bespoke solution, or were you able to design something that was reusable and extensible, something you could use in the future?
Yeah, we designed something that's reusable for future use. We're actually deploying the same solution for another customer. As we're going through that process, I think every customer has their own workflows, so we have to tailor the solution to the customer, but the backbone of the alarming events is really staying the same. So that's been exciting for us to have developed this solution and be able to deploy that for other customers.